Hello and welcome to the in-depth series section of Drishti IAS. I'm Aisha, and in today's episode we will be discussing about the rising cases of the West Nile fever. So we will be knowing everything about it. So the news which is spreading as of now is that Kerala government issues alert against West Nile fever. So it is about the West Nile fever, and then the Kerala government has issued a alert. So this clearly tells us that in India, it is the state of Kerala which gets affected by the West Nile fever, and if any state is issuing the alert, it means that this can become a cause of concern. So with this, you need to focus on the importance of the word also, because the word many a times tell us that how important a thing can be. So this West Nile fever is important from General Studies paper 2 perspective, that is health. So let's begin. So first of all, Drishti IAS has opened its Indore branch. So the IASGS Foundation course, the first offline batch is commencing on the 6th of May. It has already started in Hindi medium, and the English medium batch is starting on the 9th of May, and the timing would be 6:30 PM. So if any of you is from Indore and is interested in joining and is associating with Drishti, so this is the right time and the right space for you. So let's begin with the topic. So the Kerala government on 7th of May has issued an alert in the state against the West Nile fever, as 1 death and around 8 cases were reported of the West Nile fever from Kerala, and it is a mosquito borne viral infection. So first of all, you should be able to know that it is a viral infection, because many a times if we see, and if you have gone through the previous year questions, you will realize that from the science and technology and the science section, it has been many a times asked that this disease is of which type. It is bacterial, it is viral, it is pathogen based. So you need to be very clear that the West Nile fever is a viral infection and it is mosquito borne. It means that it is the mosquito who is transmitting this virus from one to another. Then it can cause neurological disease and death in people. Mostly 80%, around 80% people are asymptomatic, but the rest 20%, out of those 20%, there are chances that few of the people can suffer from major problems like the neurological disease. And when we say neurological disease, it means it is related to the brain, and it might cause death also. And that is why this becomes all the more important, as 1 death has been reported from Kerala, and it is commonly found in areas of Africa, Europe, Middle East, North America and West Asia. So let us first know that, see, West Nile fever. So what does the name tells us? Nile is a river. Nile is a river. You can say the lifeline of African continent. So Nile is a river. West Nile, it means that it is talking about the area. It is happening, or it might have occurred in an area which is west to the Nile. So that is why it is called a West Nile fever. So for the first time, this fever, the West Nile fever, was observed in Uganda. Uganda is a country in African continent, and look at this image. This is the image of Nile river. So this is the image of Nile river. It is basically, you can say, of two types, that is the Blue Nile and the White Nile. So if we talk about the White Nile, so White Nile originates from Lake Victoria. From Lake Victoria, many rivers originate in Africa, and White Nile is one of the major ones. And then comes the Blue Nile, and Blue Nile originates from Lake Tana, T-A-N-A, Lake Tana. And if we look at the map, then we will see that this is Lake Victoria, and to the north of Lake Victoria is Uganda. So this is Uganda, and there is a place in Uganda which is named as West Nile, and this was the area where for the very first time the first case of the West Nile was observed. So this is Uganda, and this is the area where the West Nile is found, and Uganda also lies on the White Nile River. So this was about the connection with the river, because many a times this connection can also be asked. Then few of the things, that is, first of all we should know about the symptoms. So what are the symptoms with regard to the West Nile fever? So that is high fever, headache, neck stiffness, disorientation, coma, tremors, muscle weakness, paralysis and convulsions. So if you will see, then the symptoms of the West Nile fever is starting from common symptoms, but then it can lead to major symptoms. Now imagine if there is high fever and this high fever remains for many days, then it will cause problematic headache, neck stiffness and disorientation. If disorientation also lasts for a longer period of time, it means that some of the neurological problems are taking place. Then coma can be a vulnerable thing to happen. Then tremors, muscle weakness and paralysis. Paralysis can be very, very problematic. Coma can be a serious condition. So these are few of the things. Then most of the symptoms are similar to that of Japanese encephalitis. So Japanese encephalitis, many of the symptoms are similar to Japanese encephalitis, and the transmission of the West Nile fever takes place through Culex mosquito. And Culex mosquito is the same mosquito which is also responsible for Japanese encephalitis, or you can say yellow fever. And if we talk about symptoms, then out of 100%, it is 80% people who are asymptomatic. It means they are usually not seeing any kind of symptoms. Around 20% people are cases where you will be, or the people will be able to show the symptoms, and very few among it will see the neurological problems taking place. Now let's talk about the transmission. So the spread of the Culex species of mosquito, as I told you, like for example Japanese encephalitis and yellow fever, and the World Health Organization, that is WHO has talked about that human infection is most often the result of bites from the infected mosquitoes. Now what happens if we talk about the transmission? So it is the Culex mosquito which is basically transmitting the virus from one person to another person. And if we talk about people, so people get this virus. And if we talk about animals, then it is the horses which are very prone to the West Nile viruses. So with regard to animals, it is the horses which are majorly, now it is not completely, it is majorly, which gets affected by this virus. Then no human to human transmission seen so far. So this is a, you can say, a positive point with this, that human to human transmission does not take place, and the incubation period is usually 3 to 14 days. So if we talk about vaccine, so for humans no vaccine is available, but the vaccine is available for horses. For humans there is no vaccine as of now, but for horses the vaccine has been prepared. So if we talk about the treatment, so supportive for parents. So supportive care is for patients with neuroinvasive West Nile virus, often involving hospitalization, intravenous fluids, respiratory support and prevention of secondary infections. So treatment is there, but vaccine is not there. You need to remember this, that vaccine is there for humans. Vaccine is not there for humans, but vaccine is there for horses, and treatment is there, but vaccine is not there. And transmission, you have to remember, it is the Culex species. Then about the background. So the first isolated case was observed in a woman in the West Nile district of Uganda in 1937, and it was identified in birds, example crows, in Nile Delta region in 1953, and before 1997 West Nile virus was not considered pathogenic for birds, but after 1997 it was considered. Then human infections attributable to West Nile virus have been reported in many countries in the world for over 50 years. Then largest outbreaks occurred in countries like Greece, Israel, Romania, Russia and US. And if we talk about India, then India, the state which is very much affected as compared to the other areas is the state of Kerala, and Kerala lies in the southern side of Indian peninsula. So the first reported case was observed in Kerala and specifically Alappuzha area in the year 2006, and then again in 2011 it was also reported in the Ernakulam of Kerala. So this was about the background, and in the end a prelims practice question, and it is a PYQ of the year 2017, and this is not related to the West Nile virus, it is related to the Zika virus. But why am I showing you this question is that because the pattern you need to observe, because it is the pattern that you people will have to follow, and then you will be able to see that what is the information which UPSC is asking and how is it asking. So consider the following statements. First, in tropical regions, Zika virus disease is transmitted by the same mosquito that transmits dengue. Now see, here directly it is not saying who transmits it. So here you need to be aware about Zika virus and also about dengue. Then second, sexual transmission of Zika virus disease is possible. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one nor two. So give me the answer in the comment section. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time. Keep reading, keep writing and keep subscribing to the channel. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.